Hey guys, so welcome back. So today's video is going to be another brow routine. The last time I think that I uploaded my brow routine was like a year ago. I just do my brows a lot more different these days. They're a lot bolder, they're a little thicker, mostly because my hair's grown out on my brows. They're obviously not that thick, but they used to be so much thinner. There was no arch. But yeah, today's video is gonna be my brow routine. If you want to see how I do my brows, please keep watching. So I have you guys zoomed up pretty close. That way you guys can get a really close look at how I do my eyebrows. The first thing that I do is take any little spoolie and I kind of just brush out my brows. That way if I do my brows after my foundation, I'm brushing all of the excess foundation, or if I got any concealer on it or bronzer, I can just brush it all out and have a clean slate. Next, we're going to be using the Eyebrow by Benefit. I'm in the color 5. When you take off the cap, it has the brush on it already, so you never have to like forget your brush when you're on the run or lose your brush. So I'm literally just going to tap inside, get like a little bit of product. You don't have to tap too hard. All I'm going to do first is underline my brow. So I'm going to start about 3/4 of the way and just create a line. Until I get to my arch. So there's my line. And then I kind of, from the arch, bring it down. And I go longer than how my natural brows are. My brows end here. I'm going to go down like about a centimeter more just so I get like a nice pointed long brow. The next thing I'm going to do is literally just start filling it in. I'm going to make the same strokes as my brow hairs grow. These hairs go this way, and then these go down this way. And then once it's pretty filled, still not touching this inner part right here, no new product, I'm going to go outline the top. Literally going to draw another line. I lack a lot of hair right here, so we're not even going to worry about that right now. And then so after I've drawn that line, we're going to connect right here to down here. Like that. And then we're going to fill in the top area with downward strokes. Fill in the front some more. And if you feel like it's starting to get patchy or dry, you can go ahead and take your spoolie and just brush it upwards. Brush it downwards just to brush it all out so there's not any like harsh areas where there's too much product. Sometimes when you brush with the spoolie, you're going to lose product or product's going to come off. You can just go back in with your brush and just go over it. No big deal. So now that this part, the ending of my brow is done, we're going to work on the inner part. All I'm going to do is, still adding no product, I'm going to continue the line, dragging backwards. And that's as far as I want my brows to go to. After that, instead of going horizontally, I'm going to brush upwards. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get the gradient effect. I always get people asking me, oh, how do you do your brows like that? How do you get that gradient? This is literally how. You don't brush it sideways, you just go upwards. You start at the base and then flick up. That's all you have to do. So we are officially done filling in the brows. We have a nice gradient. We have our sharp pointed tail. We have the arch. The next thing we're going to do is clean up the brow. I don't really clean the top, but I definitely clean underneath my brows right here. I'm going to take the Anastasia Highlighting Duo Pencil. It looks like this. I'm going to use the matte side over here, and then I'm going to just trace basically the bottom of my brow like that. It's okay if it's sloppy. All we're doing is cleaning it anyways. I'm just going to take a flat eyeshadow brush. This one is from Wet n Wild. I'm just going to clean underneath. This is really helpful for if you don't do straight lines. You can go back afterwards and fix it up and make it extra straight and nice and crisp. You can see I straightened up that line. It's nice and clean underwards. This also helps if you are growing out your brows and you haven't plucked in a while and you have like those little baby hairs down here. This really kind of covers them up, conceals them, and then you're good to go. Your brows look brand new and done. I'm gonna actually brush through my brows one more time just to make sure there's no clumps or anything. Everything's all blended out. And then the last step that we're going to do is we're going to take a tinted brow mascara. This is from NYX. You can use any brow gel. You can use the Benefit Gimme Brow or the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel or tinted. I like to use the tinted because, like I said earlier, right here, up here in the front, my eyebrows are really light. So in order to bring out the hairs and make it look like super natural and like the hairs are mine, I'm going to take this and kind of just comb through it. What the brow gel does is it keeps your hair in place all day. If you have a lot of brow hairs and they tend to move, then that's what the gel will do for it. It'll just keep them in place. For me, if you get a tinted one, it's going to make the front part of your brows more visible. It's going to coat the hairs like mascara does for your lashes and just give you more realness in your brows. Actually went a little too heavy. And it's okay if you do. I just go back in with my spoolie and kind of just brush it back out if it's not as natural as you're wanting it, or you put too much on. Just go back in with your spoolie. Okay, so that's what one brow looks like. It looks bomb. And if you want, I always like to highlight underneath my brows. I'm going to take this Essence Pure Nude Highlight, and I'm going to take a small, defined, and compact brush. This one's from Urban Decay, and I'm literally just going to go right underneath where my arch is and highlight right under there. And all this does is it kind of lifts your arch a little bit higher, or at least the illusion of a higher arch. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side of my brows, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did go ahead and fill out my other brow, and this is what it looks like when it's done. So those are the step-by-steps of how I do my brow. I never dip back into the pot just because the first time around I get enough to where I never need any more. If you feel like you need a little bit more product, then definitely just like tap in there, because since it's a pomade, it's going to grab a lot of product and you don't want to have too much. It's better to be able to go back and like add little by little than to put too much on and then not be able to take it off or having to start over. I know that my brows are nowhere near natural, but they're natural for me. They're not boxy. They're still like the hair and the gradient in the front. It's how I like to do my brows. If you don't like it, that is perfectly fine. Remember that brows are cousins, not sisters. They're not twins. They're not exactly alike. It's okay if this one has a little more higher arch than this one. It's okay if this one is a little more gradient. It's okay that they're not exactly the same. They're not supposed to be. If you guys like this video, give me a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!